Well, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer, who's a bit of a dumbass. I really do not like James Comer. He's really fucking stupid. Invited the CEOs of Discord, Steam, Twitch, and Reddit to testify on the radicalization of online forum users. And not Twitter. No, we're not going to talk with Elon Musk. Trust me. Like, if you were to open up a new fucking goddamn account right now on Twitter, you want to know how long it takes until you start seeing Fonk edit Sonenrad memes or some shit, dude? I guarantee you, like, about half an hour, because we want to talk about like pushing of like radicalized ideas and whatnot upon opening a new account. Twitter is like literally right there. Not to even mention fucking Facebook, bro. Like a genocide was organized via Facebook chat groups, man. Like, get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. But in reality, it appears that the fucking goddamn Discord chats leaked from our assassin here, Tyler fucking Robinson, Charlie Kirk's assassin, who is he is the accused shooter, technically speaking, right? But everyone's he more than likely fucking did it, right? Based off of these fucking leak chats, but yeah, he's probably fucking did it at this point. I think we can come to that conclusion. So, this was literally him. This is his fucking friend saying, Charlie Kirk got shot dead. I just saw the video. Holy shit. Rip, I guess. Bro didn't deserve to go out like that. Sad. True. I can agree with, I assume, the friends. This is our man's here. Fucking, Tyler Robinson. Hey, guys. I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry, for all of this. Again, he decided to fucking goddamn, like, say this on fucking Discord to his fucking Discord buddies, and they basically were just like, "Oh, what? And he decided to turn himself in to his youth pastor. His youth pastor decided to fucking tell his dad, and his dad fucking turned him in. Like, it's fucking crazy, bro. It was me. I'm sorry for all this. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've all been amazing. Thank you all for everything." Why is he so casual about it? That's a really good fucking question, Boy Meets Mini. And obviously conservatives would say like, oh, it's because he's a radical leftist. It's like, no, dude. Like, this is the broader sort of like nihilistic culture that we have been brought up under now, especially with a lot of Zoomers. Like, yeah, I don't think this guy maybe like I don't know if he feels any remorse whatsoever for what he fucking did whatsoever. Like, I'm not gonna fucking lie. Like, dude was just like, yeah, guys, it was me. I did that shit. I'm gonna turn myself in, and we're just gonna move on. It's just like, oh, we're just gonna be like really nonchalant about it. Okay, that's very fucking weird. Like that we're being as nonchalant, but we know like why this sort of like idea about this dude being as nihilistic as he probably was is sort of is here and it exists. It's because the dude was brought up in a conservative household around fucking guns, dude. Like, it makes perfect fucking sense to me, bro. Like, duh. Like, that will do nothing but breed fucking nihilism within anybody, dude. Trump and company portray the alleged Utah shooter as left wing and liberals portray him as right wing. The federal conclusion will inevitably be that he was a so-called nihilist, violent extremist. Dude, he was a fucking nihilist. Just very, very fucking nihilistic. Now, obviously, I suspected that he was a fucking groiper. At this point, I think it is very safe to assume that he was not a fucking groiper. I do not believe that he's a fucking groiper, because despite the fact that dude really fucking had the vibe that he looked like a fucking groiper, I think it is now very, very easy and safe to say, well, besides the fact that the vibes were off with him, also, the pre-disavowal of Nick Fuentes that he fucking did before of Tyler Robinson's actions, that was like one of the big clues that really keyed into me that he could be a fucking groiper. It's like, oh, Nick Fuentes is fucking scared that it was probably one of his. That's really fucking weird. He never, like, because he never fucking pre-disavows. This is very, very off behavior for fucking Nick. And, well, turns out I was wrong. And I'm okay with admitting that I was wrong there. It was a fucking suspicion, right? So, yeah, dude was a fucking nihilist. Grew up in a conservative family around guns his whole life. It makes sense why he was probably a fucking conservative. Or, not a conservative. Why he was probably a fucking nihilist. Like, it makes sense to me. Dude also played a lot of different fucking video games. Hung out online in a lot of different fucking forums. Again, these are spaces that breed a lot of fucking nihilism within people. Like, consistently. Meanwhile, the crackdown has already begun. As I reported yesterday, the country is practically ready to go to war. It's been so terrible, and seeing it from an inside perspective is so frustrating. A friend of Robinson since middle school told me. The childhood friend who asked to not be named for fear of threats provided me with the above non-public photo of Robinson on a camping trip, a favorite activity of his, to corroborate their relationship. I think the main thing that's caused so much confusion is that he was always generally apolitical for the most part, the friend told me. That's the big thing. He just never really talked politics, which is why it's so frustrating. Yeah, I think basically, like, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, if you're just, like, an apolitical sort of, like, normie gamer dude or something, like, think about it for, like, 3 seconds, okay? Like, you see the economy and the broader sort of apparatus of the state, like, seemingly just not being able to perform and, like, collapse around you, for fuck's sake. I think it makes sense why you decide to go down the sort of, like, a nihilistic fucking rabbit hole. You feel like let's be honest here. Most Zoomers, if you talk with them, think the exact same way. Hell, I fucking think the exact same way. Where I fundamentally believe at this point, like, dude, like, what's the fucking point of having any fundamental participation with within the economy? It's all fucking gone to shit. Like, dude, like, how the fuck am I going to be expected to have a house, get married, have some kids, have a successful, stable fucking life and career when, like, the economy is in the complete shitter? Everything is so ridiculously expensive, and it's harder to afford basic fucking goods and amenities more and more so than ever. Like, bro, like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to, like, deal with any of this bullshit, right? And I'm not, like, off when I say this. This is, like, a general sort of attitude amongst young people in general. Like, 1000 fucking percent. I'm not convinced yet about the politics. Yeah, I also would not trust Kash Patel's FBI about any evidence that doesn't conform to their narrative. Yeah, I can understand that sort of position, but again, going off of the friends here, I think I think more or less much higher sort of like tier of a reason and trust you can probably put there, to be quite honest. Like, I think that's, like, not ridiculous to say in particular. I don't think so whatsoever. But like, if it's anything that's coming out of either Kash Patel or Spencer Cox's mouth, who have been putting out, like, slight disinformation out there consistently to try to throw some kind of red meat to the fucking base, like, you shouldn't believe anything that comes from those fucking morons, because, again, they're just, like, idiots, right? Complete, utter fucking morons who are just willing to do anything possible for fucking Donald Trump. Like, they can't be fucking trusted whatsoever. So I'm willing to put more faith within the friends that he has, who probably knew him way better, right? The picture that emerges bears little resemblance to the media version. Robertson, I am told, though quiet, was a well-liked person with a supportive family. The friend group who he interacted with on Discord, far from some kind of militia camp or Antifa bunker as it's portrayed as. Yeah, they were trying to say it's a fucking Antifa Discord or some shit, which is stupid, but whatever. Gotta gin up any conspiracy theory to ratchet up the fucking tone and the rhetoric with conservatives, because, again, they have to do that in order to justify their fucking violent beliefs, but whatever. Not really much else you could say about that constant fucking conservative bullshit. Represented a range of different political views, but mostly talked about games. Yesterday, FBI Director Akash Patel said in an interview that Robertson subscribed to left-wing ideology, which is a lie. Like, just a complete lie, citing his family's remarks to investigators. But those close to Robinson say there was a lot his family didn't know about him. Well, again, considering the fact that it's a Utah home, gun nuts, loved gun culture, probably fucking Mormon, very, very likely to be Mormon, considering it's fucking Utah and they're fucking conservative. Although I think they're not Mormon. I don't remember if they're fucking Mormon or not. It makes sense. That's a very heavily repressive sort of environment to be fucking living within in terms of parents. Because I've talked about this before, but conservatives do not see their children as human beings. They see them as simulacra, as homunculi to imprint certain commands, thoughts, and beliefs within, and do not think that children are their own people with their own thoughts and beliefs in, well, the things in basically any particular topic. Now, you can also talk about like why they're wrong and help them drive to like a better conclusion. I think that's like totally fine and fair. But if they don't agree with that, they don't fucking agree with that. Doesn't mean they're like you should basically do everything possible to take that sort of like will away from them, as conservatives consistently do all the time with their children. This is a constant pattern of behavior. They are Mormon? Okay, thank you, Alex, from what you've heard. Okay, cool. Their ideas are based on someone they didn't fully understand, a childhood friend told me. Though the family was generally supportive of Robinson, a claim corroborated by his mother's Facebook account brimming with praise for Tyler, they didn't seem to know about his relationship with a transgender person named Lance, the friend said. When I asked if his family would have been accepting, the friend replied, I don't think Tyler knew the answer to that question, which is why he kept so low-key between themselves. Tyler's bisexuality, the friend said, was coupled with an openness on LGBT issues. But his wasn't some cookie-cutter lefty position on every or even most issues, his friends say. So, whoa, as expected, just like any fucking average sort of young person, I would say, the dude's not a fucking leftist. There's like no evidence to suggest that he's like an ardent leftist. Has he talked about stuff like that Marx has said, that about like anti-capitalist fucking positions as like the right pretends to think? No, dude is like was bisexual, was bi-curious perhaps. Didn't want to tell his weird repressive parents about that because again, probably would have fucking disowned his ass if they learned that he was bi in some way and had a fucking transgender friend, right? We don't even know. Like, as far as I could tell, they probably lived together, right? We don't even know because again, even the basis apparently of Lance being trans, this person named Lance, of course, from like what I understand, like the evidence to say that they're fucking trans was based off of a TMZ fucking article with like a Snapchat filter on or some shit. We don't even fucking know, to be honest. But and they're corroborating and like helping with the fucking FBI. And whoa, the dude had a fucking trans friend. That doesn't mean he's a fucking leftist, as like conservatives like to say. It's really really fucking stupid. Obviously, he's okay with gay and trans people for having a right to exist, but also believes in the Second Amendment, the friend said, referring to the right to bear arms. The friend described Robinson as fairly typical of a young man his age from Utah, someone who loves the outdoors, was a gamer, and into guns. That makes sense. To all of us, he just seemed like a simple guy who liked playing games like Sea of Thieves, Deep Rock Galactic, and Helldivers 2. Loved to fish and loved to camp, the friend said. It did seem like that's all he was about. And Helldiver stuff, very, very cool. DRG shit, very, very cool. The phrase inscribed on one of the bullet casings from the shooting, "Hey fascist, catch," though widely reported to mean he was a man of the left, is in fact a reference to the Helldivers 2 game. Three arrows, initially believed by federal agents to be a reference to Antifa, are also a reference to Helldivers. Yeah, because they seemingly forget about... They only focus on the 3 down arrows. There's 2 arrows that came before that, which is the Konami code for the Helldiver to call in the 500 kilogram Eagle Strike power, or support power, rather, I should say. I've not played Helldivers 2. I think that's what they're called. But yeah, there's like... not really much instance, but like there's like not really much evidence to say that the dude's a fucking ardent leftist just because of that. Because again, it's a Helldivers 2 reference first and foremost. It's complete nonsense. Private Discord messages shared with me by a friend of Robinson's confirm that Robinson wasn't some political martyr. A search for posts of Robinson's containing keywords like Biden and Trump turned up with just one each. One each. It's called the stratagem, nerd. Fuck you, boy. I don't play... Listen, I don't have friends to play Helldivers with, okay? Because, it feels bad, man. but whatever. So one hit each. I mean, this broadly speaking corroborates the sort of fact that he wasn't really fucking political whatsoever, like at all. Like yeah, like it doesn't mean he's like he mentioned them both once within private Discord logs that he had. Like that means he's a ardent fucking political dude. I don't think so. Again, I think this is what it is. He's just a fucking nihilist, right? He broadly speaking, he feels like he's just like, you know, the life sucks, everything sucks. I'm not going to be able to have a fucking goddamn home. It's going to be harder than ever to fucking afford anything. So it's just like, well, you know, I'm just going to be a fucking nihilist. Like nothing means anything. Who cares about anything? Everything fucking sucks. This is all shit. Like whatever. Who the fuck cares about any of this stuff? And decided to do a fucking high profile political hit as a result, which is which coincides perfectly with fucking nihilism. The Trump post was a passing reference to the 2019 impeachment inquiry. The Biden one came on the day of the 2020 election, where he provided an update to another friend asking about the status of the vote count. So yeah, they're just talking about the sort of like political news at the time, which was fucking big political news at the time, right? The impeachment and also the election, which I mean makes sense. A lot of people would probably be very curious about that because those are huge events. The childhood friend is a member of multiple Discord chats with Robinson. He described the group as trying to grapple with Robinson's motive just like everyone else. Even the goodbye message he sent in one of our servers where Discord chats are hosted was so hard to believe. We all just thought, what a weird joke to make. Then the news came out and we all were calling each other saying check the news. Yeah, he said, yeah, I don't know what makes a person like him decide he's going to drive 260 miles upstate to shoot someone like Charlie Kirk and then come back like nothing happened. It leaves a lot of room for speculation and theories, which is why I think they're so rampant. Part of the confusion he attributes to Tyler's quiet nature. I think that's what it is, dude. He's a fucking nihilist, right? Nihilism. That's purely what it is. It has to be fucking nihilism. Very, very quiet nature. Probably feels like there's not really, like I've been describing, not really much he can fucking do in the world. The world is so fucking fundamentally shit. And I don't know, did he put some of that blame on fucking Charlie Kirk? Who really fucking knows, to be honest? Because he said, like, I see Charlie Kirk. I can probably do something about this. And that's just like, okay, that's really fucking weird for you to say that. Like, why would you fucking say that? That's very, very fucking strange. Like, why? Huh? Like, and those are, like, people that are probably some of the most dangerous. Very quiet dudes you can't really get a fucking good read on. Especially if they're fucking nihilistic. Because who knows what exactly they might do. Right? He was a really smart guy, but super hard to read. Stone cold poker face, and you could always never be confident assuming anything. Well, there goes that fucking thought. When I asked if he opened up to anyone, the friend replied, as far as we knew, he was opened up. Despite his verbal reticence, Robinson was not a loner, according to his friends. Unlike the stereotypical outcast shooter driven to violence by social rejection, he was apparently amiable and well-liked. Everyone who knew him liked him, and he was always nice, a little quiet and kept himself mostly, but wasn't a recluse, the childhood friends say. Dude, okay. Is it really bad for me to say that I see a lot of myself in fucking Tyler Robinson? I'm quite fucking similar. I'm very, very quiet. I keep to myself very, very often. I'm not a recluse per se. I go and hang out with my friends every time, you know. I'm out here being open on fucking, I don't know, stream, I suppose. I'm not really like a recluse, but you don't see me constantly like going out and stuff. Okay, actually, the biggest difference I have is I fucking hate camping, okay? I do not like the outdoors. I hate the outdoors. I like the indoors. I do not like the outdoors. I do not like camping. Fishing's okay. Never really shot guns, but I didn't really like shooting. The one time I didn't really like it all that much. I was just like, well, mostly because it was like 6 in the morning when I was doing it. I was just tired, so that's probably the bigger reason why I was not having a fan of shooting guns. So that's cool. Yeah, we're both caught into this one, Boy Meets Minnie. Yeah, we're both like very quiet fucking recluses, and just, oh, not like a recluse, but very quiet, and we like to keep to ourselves, and generally speaking, like in our sort of friend groups, we're generally liked. So, it is what it is. I'm starting to think he's a patsy. I mean, at this point, like, I don't think, like, what else could it be, right? Regardless of the horrible actions that took place, we must take this moment to remember that God is a living and loving God who loves all his children. A Discord post from another friend posted the day after the shooting reads, while Charlie Kirk's politics were not acceptable to some, I ask that we all say a prayer for him and his family during these confusing times. That's true. Glad, yeah, inshallah, God bless. Because again, everyone has said that, like, yeah, it's obvious. What happened to Charlie Kirk is obviously fucking tragic. Like, duh. Like, that's not like ridiculous or hyperbolic to say. And but like going ahead with like the complete utter like nonsense that conservatives are trying to gin up, saying that he's like a fucking leftist or whatever. It's stupid. There's like no evidence of this. Again, probably just a nihilist who felt like, oh, like maybe I can make a difference in the world because of the fact that Charlie Kirk is at this university. So I'm gonna grab my hunting rifle and fucking shoot him. Like, honestly, like, I've had thoughts like that. Well, not about like fucking shooting someone, okay? No fucking Fed posting, Pepe, 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 okay? But I understand like the sort of position he's coming from. Bro felt like he could potentially make some kind of difference. Dude just decided to go about it in like the worst way fucking possible. Like, it's like, no, dude. Doing like a weird vigilante hit, assassination hit on fucking Charlie Kirk is not gonna make the situation any better. It's just gonna make it worse. But since the fact that the guy doesn't really dive that much into politics, I know that something like that is the case. Where if it were me who did that shit, hypothetically speaking, let's just say, like, I don't know, like some conservative MP decides to come here, or some conservative content creator decides to come here, and I decide to do a fucking hit on them, and because I think like I could make a potential difference in the world because of that, because I feel empathetic about all the people who are suffering or whatever. Like, I know that that's not going to do anything, and in fact is only going to make things 10 times worse. And in fact, honestly, if it was I who was doing it, for example, it would actually make it 100 times worse, because I'm pretty fucking open about the fact that I am actively believe in like politics and like leftist fucking politics, like, and I'm quite active about that, as is said within this fucking channel. But yeah, like, that's why I'm like sort of trying to do like a self insert here, because I totally get where the dude is fucking coming from. He felt like he could make some kind of a difference in the world, but he's going about it in the worst way fucking possible. So that's cool. The last message is religious in nature, which just goes to show the apolitical nature of the server. We all just have pretty differing views in politics, the friend said of the Discord post. We all just exist as friends and just play stuff. That's fair. Cat memes, weather updates, home improvement, and the odd Garfield reference populate Robinson's posts. Gonna eep, be very, very eepy. That's true. Cat meme. So these are just a lot of stuff. Had to replace a monitor that was on a Walmart. Top two mounting points need to have a standoff. Stack like a wash just to make a connection. Oh, dude, I've done this before. Yeah, I've done this before. I've also done shit like this before, where it's just like, fuck, I can't make this screw fit with my fucking goddamn cooler. I need to stack a bunch of washers on there to make it flush. Fuck, god damn it. I know this all too well. So the federal government, the Washington crowd, and corporate media based in Washington, New York, see the country in wholly partisan terms. Republican versus Democrat, red versus blue, old media versus social media, liberal versus conservative, right versus left, straight versus gay, and on and on. Charlie Kirk's assassination in Utah should remind us of the actual diversity of the nation. This is a great point here by Ken Klippenstein. Listen, I've done the fucking meme before, but we taught this chimpanzee what the average sort of voter believes, and it ended up fucking shooting itself. Because again, what the average fucking voter believes within the United States of America quite varied. A lot going on there. Very, very sort of scattershot. They believe in a lot of different things. Like, let's be honest here. And a lot of it is very incoherent. and the cost of polarization that demonizes the other side. No one in Robinson's group is cheering or justifying the murder in any of the messages I reviewed. They're just struggling to understand what their friend did. But Washington has become obsessed with the Discord chat. Yeah, yeah. They've, again, conservatives, because for them, everything has to be viewed within a partisan lens. And Democrats to a particular extent, right? But it's just like, dog, come on, bro. Like, the dude was just like some fucking apolitical gamer type. And yeah, like, I speculated that the dude was possibly a fucking groiper and not really have said that he's a fucking nihilist. Or not have said that he's a nihilist, but mostly because I was just pushing back against fucking conservative narratives who are all just saying, like, yeah, dude, it's complete utter nonsense that the dude was a fucking leftist. It's so fucking stupid, man. It's just crazy. Yeah, they'll ignore stuff like 764, just blame trans people. Like, there's no fucking consistency when it fucking comes to conservatives, when it comes to politics. For them, it's all about death and destruction and partisanship with them. Like, that's all that it is with them. Because, again, for them, they're primed for the day of the rope, where they just want to throw all their fucking goddamn political enemies in a hole somewhere and just, like, shoot them. Or just leave them there to die and rot. Because in reality, that's what it's all about. Where I was with, like, a lot of liberal commentators who are saying that, oh yeah, the dude was probably like some fucking MAGA weirdo. It's like, I mean, we don't really know that. There was no evidence to it. I've said it before. I've even said that in like coverage before with earlier videos about this. It's like, we don't really know what he fucking believed. Nobody really fucking knows what he believed, and this is being proven right here. As far as I could tell, was he a fucking leftist? No. Was he like a hardcore fucking conservative? No, not really. Just like a sort of like apolitical gamer bro. That's what he fucking was. But he probably was suffering from some deep fucking nihilism. Talking, probably, I wouldn't be surprised because I've had similar thoughts before. Like, the world is fundamentally fucked. It's all screwed. Like, there's nothing I can really do in order to be able to improve my fucking situation. Pull myself up out of my bootstraps through this shit. Yeah, fucking right. Look at what's going on with the fucking economy, the jobs market, and everything. It's all fucking dog shit. And dude probably was incredibly nihilistic because of these particular goddamn, well, facts of life. Because Trump is a very, very ineffective steward of the economy and is actively making everything worse with his, well, sheer lack of fucking knowledge in anything. So, yeah, trust me, I know how you fucking feel because I've had also similar thoughts. I've never really done a fucking shooting because of that. Well, first off, don't have any guns. Kind of hard for me to do that. Don't have the licensing to be able to get a gun because I live in Canada and we have fucking gun laws in this fucking goddamn country. And nor would I ever want to do something like that because I understand the broader sort of consequences of doing something like that. Because I know it's just categorically fucking bad. Like, that's what it is. But the conservatives, since they're all primed to do violence, have to see some fucking partisan political narrative out of this because they're not fucking honest actors when it comes to this. They're struggling to understand what their friend did, but Washington's become obsessed with the Discord chat, convinced it's some kind of headquarters for the murder and cauldron of radicalization and conspiracy, which is obvious fucking nonsense. Today, FBI Director Patel vowed to investigate anyone and everyone in that Discord chat. Well, I guess Ken Klippenstein decided to beat you to the punch on that one there, Kash Patel. Whoops. What I see is a bunch of young people shocked, horrified, and searching for answers, like the rest of the country. Yeah, exactly, Boy Meets Mini. Yeah, they're like, it used to be a bit more common up here in Canada, but that's because it was during the conservative, when Stephen Harper was in power, and he loosened gun regulations, so, and then Trudeau fucking tightened them. And the shootings went down precipitously. Very, very cool. But at this point, we know exactly where this is going. Oh, but yeah, he's been fucking arraigned now in court, and I believe he's gonna get the death penalty, or at least that's what they're trying to push for him right now. Of course, like, conservatives are just going to hyper fixate on the fact that he seems like a soulless fucking monster, which is just really fucking weird. It's like, no, dude, he's just a fucking nihilist. He feels depressed about the current state of the world and feels like there's like basically nothing he can do besides like fucking rot, and that the world is basically completely and utterly fucked. That doesn't mean he's soulless. It means he cares about things, but he's just like, it feels like he's probably not going to be able to really amount to really in terms of anything within life. And because of the current economy that's like going on, like that's it's fucking silly, dude.
For the court's information, we did file just recently within the last few minutes a notice of intent to seek the death penalty that was filed by Utah County Attorney Jeff Gray. So that should be in the court's file. Lastly, I would just indicate to the court and to, at this point, Mr. Robinson, that we are prepared to collect all of the discovery in this matter and get that turned over to the defense as soon as possible. Rule 16 requires us to provide what we have relied on in charging the information and bringing these charges within 5 days once it's requested. So that'll be prepared to disseminate.
I know that initially he said he didn't want to participate, like, or give any information to the investigators, because, like, I don't know, like, what else is there to really give? I mean, you guys are going for the death penalty anyways, which, I mean, that's going to be a whole fucking, I don't know, legal, I don't know, rigmarole, fuck-a-McGee in terms of that. So, I mean, we'll see what exactly happens with Tyler Robinson at that point, like, because this is going to be, like, gone over for probably years. But I don't know, like, again, dude's just a fucking nihilist, right? And all these, like, weirdo fucking morons doing this, like, face sort of, like, structure analysis saying he's fucking soulless. It's like, yeah, he's a fucking nihilist, bro. Like, he's a young man who's currently coming up in one of the worst politically, not politically, but also economically worst times in terms of history. So, yeah, it makes sense why he's fucking nihilistic. I was fucking nihilistic because I graduated during fucking COVID, and I knew the fucking consequences that were going to entail with that, and guess what? I still have to fucking live with the consequences of that. Oh, well, crazy, I know.
To the defense as soon as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Commander. Mr. Robinson, what I also want to do is you have the right to have the charges read that you stand charged of, and I wish to read those to you at this time. Thank you. Mr. Robinson, for count 1, aggravated murder, a capital felony in violation of Utah Code annotated 76-5-202, in that on September 10th, 2025 in Utah County, the defendant, Tyler James Robinson, intentionally or knowingly caused the death of Charlie Kirk under the following circumstances. The defendant knowingly created a great risk of death to another individual other than Charlie Kirk and the defendant. Notice conviction of this offense may carry the death penalty, or pursuant to Utah Code 76-3-207.7, a mandatory term of imprisonment for life without parole, or an indeterminate term of not less than 25 years, and that may be for life.
Oh, we'll see what happens with the lawyers at this point, because this is probably going to be litigated in court for however long at this point. But we'll see exactly what happens. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing. The kid, I think, at this point was just a fucking nihilist. But conservatives, since the point of their movement is to try to ratchet up the temperature and basically, go after their perceived political opponents and just go after people, they're just going to turn this into like a complete culture war, sort of like absolute like nonsense shit tier fucking shitstorm fest. And well, as expected, they're just going to go ahead, try to cancel everyone, do violence on people, see this as the day of the rope, when in reality, I think the kid's just a fucking nihilist. Like, an extreme fucking nihilist. And again, it makes sense why the dude's probably a nihilist, a violent extremist, right? He's coming up right now, 22, like prime time for him to try to go find a job, right? As a young adult, in probably the worst fucking economic time on the planet. Like, we've gone over the goddamn sort of, maybe not on the planet, but currently, like, in recent history, right? This is the worst time to be fucking looking for a job. And we've gone over the numbers about, like, what's going on with the job market. It's fucking terrible out there right now, and it's because of a lot of stuff that Trump is doing. So, again, it makes sense to me why he probably is feeling like a doomer and feels like he can't do anything about it. So, I don't know. He saw that Charlie Kirk was going to go speak at an event, decided to do the fucking hit on Charlie Kirk as a result, and felt like he could potentially try to do it, get away with it, and feel happy about potentially making a change in within life to see if, like, maybe that fucking improves the economy or some shit, right? Like, I don't know, I'm speculating when I say stuff like that, but, like, that's just how sometimes people think in terms of, like, relatively simple terms. And that's why he did what he did. He felt like he was depressed, he was probably a fucking doomer, and felt like, well, I have to do something in order to try to, like, improve my fucking situation, so I'm going to try to improve it in the worst way fucking possible, and that is doing probably one of the highest fucking goddamn political assassinations on the fucking planet, right? Like, within fucking recent time. So, yeah, like, I think we can pretty much just come away with the conclusion that not a leftist, not a groiper probably, but just a very sort of overly online, which is what I did initially think, but I speculated that he could have also been a fucking groiper, right? Given some of the behaviors that Nick Fuentes was engaging with. But even in my initial video talking about this, which I could post in the fucking description below, I have no problem with this. Yeah, a dude was like a very overly online nihilist, basically, right? And he was just like a super online a gamer dude who loved fucking playing video games. And that's really all there is to it. Yeah, like, there's no political motivation. Everyone's gonna make this fucking partisan because of the current fucking violent political times that we find ourselves under. And it's just gonna be like a complete utter a shitstorm, shitsteer fest. Because again, conservatives are willing to do anything possible in order to justify going ahead with the fucking day of the rope. Because again, for them, the violence is the point, right? They just want to fucking kill people or like round them up and throw them in a fucking hole somewhere. That's pretty much all there is really to say in terms of like the conservative thoughts on this. But yeah, I don't think there's really much else to say besides dude was just a fucking depressed fucking doomer. Yep, that's pretty much about it.